Hi, this is Mark White of ABC.
Hello, I'm Andy.
And I'm Paul, and we're from OMD.
And have you heard the news? There's Good Rocking Tonight. That's lyrics from an Elvis Presley record. He was the man who invented moving his hips around before Madonna discovered her navel.
And hi, my name is Stu Jeffries, a radio announcer at CJME in Sin City, Canada, Regina, Saskatchewan. You're asking why I'm here? Well, you've already had an agent in Bruce Allen. You've already had a big-time producer in David Foster. So Good Rockin' Tonight went out on the streets to get some serious high-priced talent, and all the high-priced talent was doing things. So they settled for me, the part-time janitor, here at Good Rockin' Tonight. No, really, we've done some TV work before. I've been on Judge, as a matter of fact, on the Rock Wars show, which was hosted by Brad Gifford, an insert here on Good Rockin' Tonight. Okay, coming up later on tonight, 100 Wham! Trivia winners. Those are the correct answers to the trivia questions. Those people will win 8x10 glossies, shirts, posters, libraries, and videos. Keep in mind that Good Rockin' Tonight is going with guest hosts for the next little while. Next week will be David Foster, followed by Loverboy, and then don't forget a day in the life of Platinum Blonde. What it's like to be a band on tour, we'll follow them all day long. November 15th, the decision is made for a regular host. So please, write in to me, and remember, a vote for me is a vote for prosperity and peace of mind, and it means I don't have to go back to sweeping floors. We'll be coming right back with Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. Welcome back to Good Rockin' Tonight. I'm Stu Jeffries, guest host for this week. Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, our part one of our two-part trivia question tonight. Good Rockin' Tonight talked to Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark, currently on tour right now with the Thompson Twins, and they came out from a cult following to some incredible success. Andy McClusky and Paul Humphreys say it was due to the fact they were out to do their own thing.
The way we started the band was really just quite a dumb idea, you know, two guys in a tape recorder playing synths in new wave clubs, and that kind of sort of free-form attitude still pervades even 7 years since the band started, that we still just want to do what we want to do. And if people want to buy the records, it's good news, and if they don't, it's just tough. I mean, we don't we're not sitting down trying to aim ourselves to a market.
We can only write songs that we feel good about, and we essentially sit in the studio for 6 months of the year writing songs for ourselves. And then after we've written the album, we'll go out.
The compromises come after you've written the song.
The compromises come after,
yes.
In actually selling the songs.
Yeah, we sit down and write music we want to hear, and then we have to go and try and sell it to people. That's the hard bit.
Well, it actually came from an interest in aeroplanes. I mean, we had some real sort of boyish enthusiasm for Second World War bombers, and we used to go around to lots of air displays and museums and things looking for these bombers, and we'd be reading books and stuff, and we just came across this book called, you know, about the Enola Gay, and we just got really interested in it. So it actually came through airplanes rather than through the
It wasn't specifically written to be a sort of an anti-nuclear song as such, but it was just such a perverse story, really. That's why we were attracted to it. I mean, just the idea that the pilot could go and fly this plane and drop this atom bomb in a plane named after his mother. You know, he specially named the plane Enola Gay because that was his mother's name. Yeah. That is extremely perverse. Well, that's the hard bit.
It's supposed to be a travelogue around the world, and we were sitting on this carriage in Brussels station for 24 hours, freezing.
Yeah, we started filming at 6 in the morning. We were still there at, 7 the next morning, and I was up doing something about 4 o'clock in the morning, and at 6 o'clock I needed him and a couple of the other guys for one of the last shots. Couldn't find them. Took 2 hours to find them. They'd all gone into the next door railway carriage and climbed into the sleeper bunks and gone to sleep. Yeah, it was a bizarre idea, that. We wanted to sort of do a bit of a send-up of some of those sort of, you know, domestic appliance adverts where they're always pulling perfectly baked cakes out of the oven, and, you know, and like, sort of girls who look, you know, they wouldn't know what to do if they got flour under their fingernails, you know, making them. So that was the sort of the idea behind that, and we were just messing around doing a sort of semi-performance. Now Talking Loud and Clear was quite interesting, actually. It was, we wanted to do a video that sort of looked like Gone with the Wind, you know, big indoor sort of scenery thing that was made to look like outdoor landscape. Yeah. And it looked quite good on paper, and even the set looked quite good. But I'm afraid we got roped into getting ourselves dressed up as scarecrows. By the time By the time the video finished, it kind of looked like Sesame Street's version of The Wizard of Oz, I'm afraid. Dates now, they've had enough of the big rock acts, and they're hungry for something new, like they were in Britain and Europe, sort of in the end of the 70s. And so they're really absorbing the British pop music, which is images and fast and good videos, and I think that can account for that happening. Why American music is becoming popular in England is quite bizarre, because I think it might have a lot to do with the fact that the English are actually sick with their own acts, because a lot of British bands were real sort of like 15-minute pop stars over the last few years.
True.
And I think people have got a little bit fed up of not being able to get hold of something concrete. And I mean, whether you like or dislike Springsteen's music, at least you can feel like that the guy is there making his own music, and it's something you can rely on. So that might be part of it. Although a lot of the American imports into England are actually black disco acts. The bizarre thing for us was that when we first came over here, that in Canada particularly, we were very well received. I think the Canadian audiences have a much more sort of cosmopolitan approach to music, and they're prepared to listen to a much wider variety of stuff than the people were in the States, particularly 5 years ago, although things have changed a bit in the States. And I think we used to we used to sell like 3 times more records in Canada than we did in the whole of the USA, you know, which compared to the population difference is remarkable. Just because, you know, if you have a hit and you're on TV and you're on the front cover of this, then people tend to treat you like, you know, regardless of what you say or do, because you're famous, they tend to treat you in that sort of stereotype manner of, you know, they therefore think that the sun must shine out of your backside and they're allowed to scream at you.
Yes.
But, I mean, we don't make a big deal of, like, you know, selling our personalities, like, you know, we make great music, therefore we're wonderful human beings and we demand your attention. We just make music that we hope people are going to like, and if they do, that's good enough for us.
Time now for our interview with ABC. This is part 2 of our trivia question, by the way. The new ABC album is called How to Be a Zillionaire. I have scanned the album from front to back, and on the inside, there are no instructions at all on how to be a zillionaire. Be Near Me, the new single off the album, just reached top 20 in the States. It is also #1 on the dance charts. Remember way back to '82, that was ABC's first hit called The Look of Love. At that time, they had a 16-piece orchestra, which they have since knocked down to 4 pieces for a couple of obvious reasons. First of all, 16 pieces don't fit into the studio too well and is far too expensive. Here is ABC's Mark White talking about the many labels that people have put on the band.
Well, we collect labels. I mean, we've had, you know, techno pop, new romantic, white funk, blue-eyed soul. We've had the whole bunch leveled at us. What we were interested in doing was mixing the influences that we lived with, you know, while we were growing up. The discos I used to go to, you'd hear the pop greats, Brian Ferry, David Bowie, Mark Bolan, and you'd hear them alongside the great Motown records and those incredible records by Chic. So what we were trying to do was really mix those 2 things together and have a song which was full of melody and had a witty, incisive lyric, but was allied to an incredible dance beat. Yeah, I think you have to have a very strong idea about where you are and what you want to do. And artists make some real stinkers, some real errors, but you have to evaluate your strengths and weaknesses. I think that's what we've done with How to Be a Zillionaire, and we've married our strengths from the lexicon, the lushness of orchestration, the sense of melody, with kind of the more poignant edge of Beauty Stab. Yeah, Be Near Me is a very simple, direct statement. It's a very simple song. It's a sort of song we can't help but write. And in many ways, it's a bridge between our past and our present. In the video, what we wanted to try and do was make it look like we were in a huge ping pong ball, like 500 yards wide, and totally, make people feel like they're riding a roller coaster. You can't tell where's up, where's down, and where's left and where's right.
ABC and Be Near Me, #1 on the dance charts. Time now for part 2 of our trivia question. You have to get both these parts right. Who is the lead singer of ABC? It is not Mark White, the man you just saw. Who is the lead singer? Don't forget about OMD's trivia question. What are Tesla girls testing? You have to know both to win ABC's new album, How to Be a Zillionaire, and OMD's new album, Crush. Kiss and Tears Are Falling. Paul Stanley taking some Madonna dressing lessons. Here's a quick reminder about a couple of trivia questions we've asked over the past few weeks. To start with, here's Stevie Ray Vaughan with his question.
All right, we've got a little trivia question for you. First of all, you'll be winning this beautiful 1971 Stratocaster from Richard's Rare Guitars, West Coast #1 rock shop. Could you name the 3 well-known guitar legends named King?
Runners-up can win copies of Stevie's brand new LP, Soul to Soul. Next, Honeymoon Suite. Derry and Johnny asked which of their singles was released with a fluorescent sleeve. These are the prizes up for grabs. Finally, last week, when David Foster hosted the show, he asked you to name the 2 remaining original members of Dire Straits. We've got 30 prizes in all, including posters, picture discs of Money for Nothing, and a special European edition of Dire Straits Live in '85, So Far Away. Next week, David Foster will announce the Bryan Adams trivia winners, and the Hooters are interviewed. Okay, now to the thousands of you who entered the Wham contest, and thank you to everyone who entered. Your question was, what was the name of George and Andrew's first group? The correct answer was, as most of you knew, The Executives. Now 100 winners will receive either a Wham t-shirt, an 8x10 glossy, Wham library, poster, or video cassette of Wham, the video courtesy CBS Fox. Now, before we get to the winners' names, just a quick note that next week, David Foster guest hosts. Then the week after, all 5 members of Loverboy will host. And the week after that, it's a Platinum Blonde special. Now, the week after that is up for grabs. The week after that could mean I'm back to janitorial services or back on the Good Rockin' Tonight show. I'd like to hear from you, see what you thought. If you have any questions, or for that matter, answering the Good Rockin' Tonight trivia questions, by all means, write to me and tell me a little bit about yourself. I'd like to get to know you just a little bit better. Okay, so maybe I don't have George Michael's looks. I'll get an earring, I promise. The letters to Good Rockin' Tonight are the most important of all. Would certainly love to hear from you, and would certainly love to be back hosting Good Rockin' Tonight for a long time. It's either that or it's sweeping the floors. The mere thought of it breaks me up. Hey, have you heard the news? There's been Good Rockin' Tonight.